I'm Travis from Just Trav'lin, and I just spent 30 days overlanding in Belize, and I'm going to tell you exactly how much it costs. So let's start with something that's on everybody's mind: gasoline. Gas is pretty expensive in Belize. It costs around $6 per US gallon. And I drove around 1,400 kilometers around the country from north, south, east, and west. I drove, main highways to back roads, gravel roads, single track roads, all over the place. So I got a pretty good average of how much I spent on gasoline. And I ended up spending around 395 US dollars on gas, which may or may not be a lot, depending on what you think. And the next topic we're going to go over is food and water. Now, around the country, I went from big supermarkets to even gas stations buying food to little corner stores with only 3 aisles. So I've got a pretty good idea of, the overall cost of food, and I spent around $207 US dollars on food in my 3.5 weeks in Belize. So next we're going to talk about activities, and this includes everything from visiting Mayan cities to doing tours to paid campsites to visiting national parks. All that costs money. And in the 3.5 weeks I was there, I spent $292 US dollars, which was more than my food and water budget. So it's not cheap. So the fourth and final way we break down our expenses while traveling is what's called extras. So as you can guess, it's something that we don't actually need to spend money on, which is like coffee or treats from bakeries. Energy drinks is a habit of mine that I spend a lot of money on. And for the month that I was in Belize, I spent $106 US dollars on just random stuff like that in our extras category. So with our 4 categories while we travel with expenses, that gives our total a $1,000 price tag, give or take a few dollars. But I'm going to move on to Caye Caulker, which is a completely separate trip. Other than overlanding, you're going to an island, and I'd like to break that down to anybody else who might be interested in those prices. So for hotels, there is a host of hotels, anywhere from luxury down to super cheap hostels. I picked something as cheap as I could, and I spent about $45 US dollars per night, and I spent 2 nights in Caye Caulker, so that's a total of $90 for the 2 nights for that. Now you need either a ferry or an airplane to get there. I went with the ferry option, it's a little cheaper, and for there and back I paid $37 US dollars. And one of the main reasons people go to Caye Caulker is to swim in Shark Ray Alley, which is also what I did, and I paid for a half-day tour, and the half-day tour costs $45 US dollars. And last but not least, you need to eat while traveling as well. So I only ate out once while I was in Caye Caulker, and I spent about $10 US dollars for the one meal, but also bought groceries. My groceries cost me about $30 US dollars. So in conclusion, the Caye Caulker trip cost about $212 US dollars, which brings our grand total to just around $1,200 for the month in Belize, overlanding from north, south, east, west island trips. So let us know in the comments if you think that's what you would expect, either higher or lower, or if you have any comments or questions, just let us know.